Filipinos seem to love going to the mall, or malling. It might be the favorite national pastime. The Philippines has a lot of malls, probably over 200, and they are usually very big. There are SM malls, Robinsons, Ayala malls, and so many more. Some of the malls will have 700 or 800 stores and restaurants. Many malls also contain entertainment and recreation areas, such as concert halls, theaters, skating rinks, and even hotels. We spent quite a bit of time at malls as we traveled around the Philippines. I would say most of the places that we went out to eat were at malls. And it's not just us, Filipinos love to eat out as well. And there are so many different restaurants that you can choose from in the malls or elsewhere, and such a variety of dishes available. Many of the restaurants and the food available is very similar to what we have here in North America, and some of it is quite unusual by our standards, and they have a very distinct Asian flavor.
This is what they call shop pretty broad.
Malling is much more than shopping. It's not just a retail experience, but really a social experience. I loved how the malls are designed in such a way that you're always drifting in and out, from the buildings to the outdoors, and you really had a broader experience than just being in a closed exhibition space all the time. I think one of the appeals of malls for Filipinos is that they're big and they're bright and they're clean and they're modern and they're air conditioned, and for a mostly still developing country, this provides people with something that they don't always have access to in their own areas. I was always surprised at how many of the retailers in the malls in the Philippines are the same ones that you would see here in North America. Just about anything you can find here in North America seems to be available in the Philippines as well. When I first got to know Cecilia, I would always ask her, "So, can you get this in the Philippines? Can you get that in the Philippines? Or is this available? Is that available?" And she would always say, "Honey, you can get anything you want in the Philippines. Anything that you can get here, you can get in the Philippines." And it seems to be true. I think another reason that Filipinos like going to the mall is that they're safe and very pedestrian friendly. Here you can bring your family, including your kids, and you can spend time walking around, hanging out, looking, shopping, and you can do it safely. And it can be a relatively inexpensive outing as well. One thing that I found very interesting about retail in the Philippines is they have a lot of staff. That is to say, there's a lot of salespeople there to assist you, to help you, to provide you with information. And they all seem to be very well trained. That is to say, they know what they have in stock, and they know where you can find things, and they know what you're looking for if you ask them what you're looking for. And there always seems to be like 3 salespeople for every customer. They're so well staffed, so helpful. So we came into Ace Hardware here for a couple of reasons. I love hardware stores. I love tools. I love all the things you find in hardware stores. But we were also doing some projects around Cecilia's property, so I needed to actually find some things to do some fixing up. And so we spent a little bit of time here at a hardware store. Again, staff, they knew what they didn't have, and they knew what they did have, and it would be very helpful. If there's one thing Filipinos love more than shopping, it's got to be karaoke. It's everywhere. You see it, you hear it everywhere. And when it comes to buying speakers, the bigger, the louder, the better. Because we were spending quite a bit of time on beaches and other places that were a little bit wet or muddy, Cecilia was looking for some newer shoes, some Crocs, or something similar to wearing in those kinds of conditions. So we just happened to find a store that sold nothing but Crocs, and Cecilia was happy. So after some serious shoe buying, it was time to head outside and check out some of the outdoor spaces that the mall had to offer. Outdoors, there's eating places, there's places to walk, there's amusement parks, there's other various attractions, and we spent some time checking those out. Just across the street from the mall itself, but still part of the mall, is what is called the Seaside Boulevard, and it's right up against Manila Bay, and again, it's more attractions, more things for people to do. As I mentioned, most malls also offer a nice mix of indoor and outdoor spaces and activities and places to keep yourself amused and entertained. So this is Manila Bay. It is a large commercial bay, so there's a port. There's a lot of ships that come in and out of the bay all the time. And over the years, it's gotten pretty polluted. There's been a concerted effort over the last couple of years to do some major cleanup of the bay, and developments like this help bring people back and make it a fairly vibrant part of Manila again. I mentioned before that many parts of the Philippines are not very pedestrian friendly, and this is a good example of an area that is pedestrian friendly. You can come here and you can walk safely, and you can bring your family here and not be concerned about getting run over. In the Philippines, motor vehicles pretty much rule the road, rule the streets. Pedestrians made up 45% of all road traffic fatalities in 2019. That's a pretty staggering number. kind of an indication of why people seek pedestrian-friendly areas. Seaside Boulevard here along the bay, which is part of the Mall of Asia, also has you can see at the far end there, the Mall of Asia Eye, a Ferris wheel, and there's an amusement park there as well. Interestingly, the Eye is also designed like a giant parole Christmas lantern, Filipino Christmas lantern, lighted up during the Christmas season. You can probably go to the Mall of Asia every weekend for a whole year and still not see everything. Anyways, that's our look at malling.